going live now. So
oh yeah, it says live on Facebook, so yeah.
Right. So hello everyone, and good afternoon, happy lunchtime. I hope you've all got a sandwich and a cup of tea or coffee. I'm with Karen Haller, who is the author of a wonderful book on colour called The Little Book of Colour, How to Use...
I've got one here.
Have you? Oh, let's
Here's
see.
one I made earlier.
Oh, fantastic. The Little Book of Colour, How to Use the Psychology of Colour to Transform Your Life. And it has been an amazing book for Karen and for other people too. So Karen is a colour, what should I call you, a colour psychologist.
Yeah, I say applied colour and design psychology specialist.
Colour and design, right? Okay, I won't say that. But basically, you work with, I mean, all sorts of people, from big corporations on their branding, for instance, to interior designers and developers, architects, creating interior spaces. So tell us what your, how it works and what you do, Karen.
Yeah, so just in a nutshell, applied colour and design psychology is how colour and design can, and I use it in a way that how it influences positive behaviour. So everything I do is around behavioural design, and it's all about creating positive change and positive good through using colour and design in the way that I use it is very much as nature intended. So people probably would have heard of biophilic design, but it's very much how we have this symbiotic relationship with nature. And I take biophilic design, but the colour and design side of it, and I take it further into applied colour and design psychology. So that's the tool that I use, but it is to help people to create brands that show up authentically and attract the right target, their right target market. It's to create interiors for people to have a really good sense of well-being and positive support, but also to elicit the right positive behaviours, because that's different in a workplace to in a hospital to in a shopping centre. Every environment, or in the home, every environment is different. So it's about having this methodology and these tools in order to be able to create the right positive outcomes. So that's in a nutshell the work that I do.
That's fantastic. So can you I know this isn't what we said we talk about, but I'm fascinated to know whether you've got a sort of tip for, or a particular color that produces a particular behavior or combination of colors that you could sort of
yeah. So look, every color has positive and adverse traits, and it really depends on the context. So it's not a one size fits all. It's actually, it is quite complex, because there are a lot of pieces within the process that it's like, you can't just go to a doctor and say, I've got a sore knee or I've got a sore tummy. He or she has to ask a whole lot of questions in order to give not to diagnose, but to elicit or to analyze and work out. And it's the same with the work that I do, is that I don't just turn up and then just go, oh, this one color is for everyone. It's really about individual, it's down to that individual level. So yeah, it's not a question I can answer like that, because it is quite an in-depth
fair
process.
Enough. It was probably a silly question, basically.
No, not at all. I get asked that question all the time, and it just shows that for me it's about education. So the more people are informed and educated, and then that's why, one of the reasons how this book came about was just to actually show people how they can do this for themselves.
Of course. So let's start at the beginning then. So you were working in a in IT. In IT, yes. and then what happened? Tell us the story.
Yeah, well, lost my soul. I was working in IT as a web project manager and a business analyst. And I had been doing that for many years. I was also in big, large-scale corporate office refurbs and refits, and I was doing this around the world. And I mean, I loved the work that I did because I got to travel, but it got to a point that it wasn't fulfilling my soul, and I was getting very I wasn't happy, you know. I was getting really miserable. But let me just go way back before then, because I've just missed a big chunk out. When I, you know, and I'll just start from when I finished school. I did just land in IT because I was given an opportunity, and all I wanted to do was, within 2 years, I said, right, that's it, I'm going to go overseas. So I just took a job that paid the most, which happened to be the job in IT. But at night, I had studied fashion design, and because I thought that's what I would actually get into, but I just found it was really ruthless, and I just thought I wouldn't survive in that industry. And then I went on and did millinery, because that's making hats, and I thought, oh, this is it. And it was while I was making this beautiful teal blue felt hat that I blocked and put beautiful chocolate brown feathers and beautiful chocolate brown ribbon on. And out of my mouth, out of nowhere came, oh my God, it's color. And that was what I always say is my first epiphany moment. I didn't even know what that meant. And when my fellow students said, what do you mean? I went, I haven't got a clue. But then I went on to start studying color. Right. And that first year when I was studying again at night, I realized I was asking a lot of questions that the teachers weren't able to answer. You know, I was asking questions. Why do I feel this way about this color? Why did I like it yesterday but not today? Why is it that I like this particular tone of green, but, you know, Mary next to me doesn't like it? You know, and what I didn't realize was I was asking all these questions about how colors influence how we feel and how we behave. And I went on, and many color teachers, and this is when I then had moved abroad, and I was still doing loads of color courses and still not getting my questions answered. And it was quite some time later that I did my 18th weekend workshop, and I started asking the teacher questions, and she was able to answer every single one. And I did drive her nuts with 1,000 questions that weekend. And then I went, oh my God, this was my second epiphany moment. Not only have I found what I'm looking for, it's got a name, and it's called color psychology. And then I went on to learn from my teacher about applied color and design psychology. And that's when I realized this was it. I had found what I was looking for. And I was just so happy in that. But obviously I was very miserable with my day-to-day IT work, and I knew it was time to move. I knew this is really this is, I want to say my calling, but this is really what lit me up, and this was really the only thing that I wanted to do in my life, right? I just had found it. So I gave up my very lucrative IT work, and then I went to do my color consulting work, and I did it right in a recession, because about 2006 or so, right in a recession. Yeah. And also, golden rule, I didn't realize that no one knew what color psychology was. That was something I didn't think I had to look into, because I thought everyone knew this. So I did go back to my teacher and go, why haven't you told anybody this? Why is it that you've come up with this amazing theory and this amazing tool, and you've got your head below the parapet, and no one knows that you exist, and no one even knows that this is out there? So I wasn't happy, but then I thought, you know what, I'm going to change this to my advantage. And this is the other thing that so many people tell me, and so many coaches tell me this, or say this: don't be the first one to do something. Like, don't be the first one in your niche or in your area. Make sure that there is a need for it. Make sure that there is a customer base that people want it. Well,
people do say that all the time, don't they?
Yeah, well, I ignored that, because I just thought, well, if I do that, if not now, you know, when?
Not now, when? Yeah, that's
if not now, when? I went, well, there you go. I'll just be the person who starts it, because I can't sit around and wait. Like, I'm not someone who sits around and waits. I will feel the fear and do it anyway. You know, like I just decided to do it scared, right? Because why wait? And then I can work it out as I go along. So that's what I did. Of course, no one knew what I was talking about. And I used to get all the time, what the F is that? When I used to say what I did all the time, that was the standard answer. And I went, I think I'm going to have to educate. So then I started blogging. And that was a learning curve, because trying to talk about something that no one knew what it was really interesting. But I just kept blogging and blogging and blogging. And probably the biggest thing I did, or one of the best things I did, is I gave myself a 30-day blog challenge, because not only that, it meant that I was writing blogs for 30 days in a row.
Yeah.
I was able to engage people and ask them what they wanted to know, or what it meant to them, or what their questions were. So I had questions to answer. And I started putting in, without realizing it, all the keywords. So then when I started, so then when I started getting up and talking about what I did, people would then go and search on what I'd just spoken about and then find me.
So hang on, stop a minute. Where did you?
No,
it's fine. It's brilliant. It's a great, great example for just acting and doing it. But where did you start speaking? So you were blogging, and then where did I start speaking? Happen?
Yeah, so talk about my biggest fear, because that's probably one of these other big things, is that I was terrified of being visible. But I had someone, a lovely lady called Tamsin Fox Davis, who was my very first marketing mentor. And when she and it's actually at the very back of my book, she's in my acknowledgements. And when she said to me, Karen, I think you need to get up and speak about this, not only did I burst into tears, my tears went horizontal. I shook with terror.
Oh no.
Yeah, because I thought, you've got to be kidding me. Like that, I can jump out of a plane, I can jump off a cliff, I can't get up and talk, right?
Wow.
Yeah. So I started with women's networking groups.
Oh, okay.
I started, I went to BNI first, and I felt that was terrifying, because I would get up and do my 1 minute speech, and I was terrified, and I just hated that. That 1 minute was the bane of my whole week. And then I joined Athena, and I stayed with the Athena women's group for years, purely so I could put up my confidence for that 1 minute every week. That I was probably 7 or 8 years with Athena until I could just actually, and even by the end of it, I still struggled. But that was how I started. I started by being in a group, and 1 minute was all I could manage. And in fact, I would sit down and I'd virtually burst into tears, because I was just terrified of just even doing a 1 minute in front of people that I knew. I did loads of personal development work, loads of personal belief work. Every single time I get in my own way, I still do personal belief work. I went and did loads of public speaking courses, which basically I was the one that would run out the room, and they'd all be ready for the runner, right? So I was the runner, and they would all point and go, she's the runner, right? And I did run, and they would always bring me back.
So when did this turn into this kind of this pain and anguish you were putting yourself through? When did it actually turn around and start to
just
be
practice.
A career? How long did it take you?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me was when somebody said to me, it's not about you.
Right.
That's what they said. And I went, oh, it's not about me. Oh, and I'd made it all about me. As in me being worried, me worried what they're going to say, me worried what they're going to think. I was too self-conscious.
Yeah.
And so I would get up and go, it's not about me, it's not about me. I'd say that, and I just think it's just a conversation, it's just a conversation. And so then I realized that my best position, my best way of doing this was actually having a conversation and being interviewed by someone. Hence why you're on here now. I prefer to have a chat anyhow. But, I still get up there and do big keynote talks and things, and I have my notes with me. And you know what?
Yeah.
I don't care, because I am prepared. I really, you know, I prepare everything. And if I forget something or I have a blank out or whatever, I just say it and have a laugh. Like, do you know what? What's the worst that's going to happen? I don't, you know, it's not about being perfect. It's about sharing.
I think it's such an important lesson to learn. Absolutely, that, you know, it's not about delivering a perfect perfect presentation. It's about being you and knowing what you're talking about.
Yeah. So that's a really big thing. But what didn't dawn on me over the years was that every time I wrote, and I was writing about like color psychology for business branding and color, like all of these kind of words and phrases I was constantly using, I was then not realizing it, but I was using them in my talk. And that's when people were searching for it on this. That's how, and I didn't realize I'd created my own keywords and I'd created my own niche. Now, the wonderful thing when it comes to the press, they are always looking for something different. They're always looking for a new angle, a new story. So right from the get-go, I got really good press coverage.
So how did you get it? Let's get specific here. Did you approach the press?
Never. I've never approached the press once.
Really? And you didn't have a PR rep or someone doing it for you? Really? No. This got them coming to you? Because they
were searching on something and they found me. If they were searching on a color expert, or they were searching on color consultant or something to do with color, I was being found because it was all I was talking about. I mean, ad nauseum. I was like, I still just talk about it. I get probably still rang up probably every week, every second week for the media. And that's I think if people are really clear on what they do and what their niche is and their level of special or their area of specialty, and that is all they talk about, that way people will find them.
Yeah, that's really interesting. But just keep going, keep blogging.
Keep going, because
stuff out there.
Yeah, I thought I was talking in the wind for years. I really didn't think anybody was listening.
Yeah.
And you know what? I just kept going because I just thought, if I don't keep going and I stop, what will I do? Because it's all I wanted to do. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you really, really love what you do, and you're not just, I happened to find a gap, but I wasn't there to fill a gap. I was there because I really believed in what I was doing was life-changing and could really make a difference in people's lives. I couldn't articulate always what I did. I'm still finding new ways to articulate. I'm still refining. I'm always getting better. I'm always getting better clarity. But I didn't let that stop me, because I really believe is we just do our best until we can do better. Do you know what I mean? And every day our best is better, isn't it? So, so that's how I've been doing my work. Yeah.
So how did the book come about then?
That was completely out of the blue, and I still remember it was like November 2017. It was a Tuesday afternoon. It was 4:45 in the evening. An email pops in saying hello from Penguin or something like that. I didn't even read the whole email properly. I just saw something that we've found a gap in the market and we think you're the perfect person to do it because we've been watching you. So I pick up the phone straight away and I just went, Amy, it's Karen. And she said, God, you're quick. And I just went, I was just worried if I didn't ring straight away, the email would self-combust, right?
Yeah.
And she burst out laughing, and I just went, when can I come in? So I was in on Friday afternoon with the rights team. Now, it's usually the rights team that you have to convince that you've got an idea for a book. They were there convincing me why I was the right person to write the book.
But had you at this stage, because we met when you were on another program, and I attended a day where lots of people pitched their book to kind of me as Rethink Press, and to, I think Penguin was there, and
Penguin, no, it ended up just being Hay House.
Yeah, Hay House, that was right. Yes. And your all your pitches were kind of commented on and critiqued. And yeah, I mean, at that stage, presumably you hadn't been approached, and
No.
you didn't get a a book contract, a publishing contract out of that day.
No, Hay House said to me they're interested, but they wanted me to change the angle of my book.
Yeah,
and I did walk away from that day, spending the next 2 months thinking, I can't do what they've asked because I don't get it. I don't feel, I don't understand. And I was still going around in my head going, because I had written a book outline, chapter outline, and I had already idea of what the book that I wanted to write. Yeah. And during that 2 months when I'm going, I've just got no idea what they want, like how I don't feel it. And I just thought, you know what, I'm not going to turn myself inside out to write a book that I then can't stand by.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, and I was still in that feeling. Yeah. And and then Penguin's email dropped in. But the big thing is, they said they'd been watching me. They said that we have looked at everything that you do. We've looked at your blogs. We've looked at your all your social media. Every time you show up, all you do is talk about this one thing, and we've spotted a gap in the market, and this is our idea for the book. And I just went to them, well, here's my chapter outline, and I wrote this back in January, and you probably don't know, but it's almost identical. So they'd spotted the same gap in the market that I had.
That's great. Yeah, that's so good. But that's so, I mean, Taruna, who's there are a number of people watching here, and Taruna Chauhan, who's one of my authors, said, I love that you decided to forge ahead even though people said it could be difficult. And I think, you know, your example is to be absolutely single-minded about what you do and what you love, and just to keep going, because eventually you'll be heard and somebody will say, yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. So, you know, and I've had a lot of knockbacks, and a lot of people, like at the beginning, I used to curl up in a bit of a ball and have a bit of a sob and just think, why, you know, like, why is nobody listening? But why is this not taking off? What's missing in all of this? Because I knew I had something, and then I thought, you know what, I'm going to listen to every single perceived negative comment, every yeah but, every you know, negative thing, and I'm going to use that and turn it around and go, great, because what they're basically telling me is I haven't explained it properly. I haven't articulated it. I've not made it about them. I've not clarified. So when someone just goes, oh yeah, well, colour's just subjective anyway, like, to me, that was gold, because I heard it so many times. I went, right, how do I address this? So every single thing, and even to this day, I want to hear all the stuff that people don't agree with it, because that helps me get the message out clearer. And it's not that I ever try and convert them, but it just gets the message clarity, who I work for and who I don't work for, who this book is for and who this book isn't for. So it's all of those things, and I haven't got that down as one of my top tips, but I just see everything now as gold. And I tell all of my students, anybody that says anything that you perceive to be as negative, take it as a piece of gold that you can actually use and turn around.
Yeah, I think that's a really useful tip, actually. That, everything. I mean, when I take people through the process of getting their manuscripts read by beta readers, they're often kind of like, oh no, I don't want to do that. But actually, it's not the positive stuff that's really helpful. The kind of, oh, I love this book, brilliant, well done. That's great. Yeah. But it's the sort of, actually, you could improve it by doing this. The insights and are what are real gold in that process. So exactly the same. As you're saying.
And I'm very much a person of, please pick it to pieces. Like, don't just tell me it's okay. Don't ever tell me anything I do is interesting. Like, that's just snooze boring, right? Like, oh, that was interesting. No, tell me, because I can't do anything with interesting or that's nice, but you know, I'd rather you absolutely to pull it to pieces, because then I can do something with that.
That's really interesting that you say that, because I mean, I think it's actually perfectly well researched and documented, but I found when I did research on why women don't publish their books more, is that criticism is one of the things that we fear. We fear criticism more than men do, and we react worse to it, and it knocks our confidence. So, but you're a shining example of criticize me, tell me, and I'll make it.
Yeah. Well, see, they're not criticizing me.
No.
When I get up and do talks, I get heckled, and I will stop my whole talk and I will speak directly to the person who's heckled me, because there's something about them. It's something that's going on for them. And that's why when this lady, her name was Colleen, said to me, it's not about you. I just go, when they criticize something, they're not criticizing me personally. What they're doing is they're expressing themselves and how they feel, and it's what's going on for them in their world. So if anything, I go to them with empathy, and I really genuinely want to understand what is going on for them, because it's not about me.
No, but what do you get heckled about when you're talking about colour psychology?
I get told it's a load of rubbish. What a load of shite. I get, oh, it's subjective. Oh, you've just made that up. Oh, come on, prove it to me. Prove it. I get
really.
I get this. You get this with the what a load of rubbish. Colour doesn't have any effect on me. I don't feel anything with colour. It's what a load of nonsense. Like, I get all of that, and that is all amazing information. See, I come to it very much from a scientific, as well as an instinctual and intuitive, but very much from a rationale. And I am someone who always looks for patterns of behavior, because if I do behavioral design and behavioral psychology, I am fascinated by human behavior. So it's what is going on for them in relation to their relationship with color. It's not to do with me. So therefore, I can always come to them with empathy. And if I always say it's not about me, and if it's not about me and it's about them, what is going on for them in their world for them to be saying this? Because what they're basically doing, they're in pain. There is a sort of a pain, a mismatch, a misunderstanding. There is a misalignment with their own emotion. So I find that really fascinating. Really, really, and the audience does find it a bit odd that I've just stopped the talk and start, but I can then work that conversation into my talk, because it is all about what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's really fascinating.
Yeah.
So you got the book published. What is the book now doing for you? Because interestingly, you did not join this group for some time, because I call it, because I can't think of a better way of expressing it, about writing business books. And you thought, I haven't written a business book. My book's about colour, so I can't join the group. So
yeah, well, because my book is for the everyday person. And so when I saw your group and it said business book, I went, well, my book's for the everyday person. I haven't written a business book, so I can't possibly join. And then it was when you said, yeah, but do you get business off your book? And I was like, yeah. I was like, oh, now I get it. So yeah, that was actually, I did fall in a fit of giggles with that, because I thought it was hilarious. I still laugh about it. So what was really interesting was I actually did pitch an idea, or I talked to many design professionals and industry professionals about writing a book on colour for the design industry. And I got an absolutely resounding no. We don't need a book on colour. We use it intuitively. We know it all. We don't need a book. So I thought, oh, well, and then because it had been advised to me to write a book for the everyday person, because it's a bigger audience.
Yeah.
So that's what I went with. Ironically, the biggest uptake of this book has been designers. Last year, it was in the Sunday Times top 10 design book. And I'm like going, but it's not a design book, right? I just think it's hilarious. The uptake of my courses has been my applied colour and design psychology courses. I've got mini courses and standalone courses and big 6-month course. The uptake of my courses by designers has been phenomenal. The book is in 13 languages. This week, it just got, I got a request for a 14th language, and Penguin, thank God, they do all the deals. So it's going great guns. I have clients who this week, a client who I just did work for, they ordered 500 copies of the book in various languages to give to all of their clients. So they said, when we go to our clients, we want to leave them a gift, and we would like to give them a gift of your book.
Yeah, that is an incredibly good way to use your book. For your clients, for their clients.
Because
business, it's perfect.
Because they sell colour in their products, and they want to try and sell more colour, so it helps them as well. And so it's everyone helps each other. I've got more clients from around the world. I've got, I'm getting always big brands coming to me all the time. I'm on lots of podcasts. I'm being asked to just speak a lot more. And my client work has definitely increased.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So Taruna says that she loves the tip that any kind of feedback helps us move forward, which I think is a really, really good point and tip.
And just say thank you. Like when someone says something, I just go, it's not about me. And I actually, when someone says something that's perceived negative, I actually say to them, thank you very much. It's really helpful, which kind of throws them off guard a bit too, because they expect you to go, oh, no. But no, I just go, oh, thank you. I just thought, do you know what? I've had more people say that to me. There's something in this, because now it's a pattern, because more people are saying it. And then I start to investigate what that could mean. So, and then it becomes a blog post, that becomes something I teach in my course. It becomes you know what I mean? Like I actually use it.
Yes, that's fascinating. And Taruna also says, which is, I think, very true and fascinating, that people with dementia are affected by colour, which I don't know anything about, but you probably know a lot about.
Yeah, people with autism, people with every single person. Look, if you can breathe, you're affected by colour, because it means because we all are emotional beings. So we are all affected by colour. It's just the context changes and what people need changes. But we are absolutely, and I have a student who, a former student who designs for care homes, and the work she's doing is phenomenal. And the changes that she is making and the positive effect and how people are feeling in those spaces. I mean, like it's gives me goosebumps. It's making positive change. So I just love it that it's being spread out there in the world.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fantastic. So Karen, you said that you were going to give us 3 things to remember to keep motivated, and you have been absolutely amazing at getting across your sense of motivation and your energy. And I think it'll be very inspiring for lots of people. But what were the 3 tips?
I'm just really stubborn. I'm really stubborn. I'm really determined.
Really good.
So I guess one of them is to have a goal or a vision that's bigger than yourself, something to strive forward to. Like my goal is to have my book, or to have people to fall in love, every person in the world to fall in love with colour again and not be scared of colour. And it's this vision that is bigger than me. And that way I will always be striving forward, because it's not just something that's here. It's something almost unobtainable, that is this big positive change I want to see in the world, because I want people to be able to come home to who they are, to not look outside of themselves for whatever else is going on or whatever everyone else is doing, or trends or fashion, but to really show up authentically. And that's the book is all about, showing up, really about coming home to self and showing up authentically. So it's actually a personal development book. It wasn't when I started writing, but 3/4 of the way through the book, I did think, hold on, this book just can't be about colour. And I was sort of doubting my own book, just going, it's got to be more than this. And then I went, oh my God, it's about coming home to self. So that's when I put that into the introduction. And that's what it is. Yeah. And some people get that, other people don't, but that's absolutely fine. So yeah, something really big, like some big audacious goal to strive towards. And then every single day, no matter how small it is, take a step, do something that moves you forward.
That's a great tip.
Yeah, there'll be some days that you just think that nothing's going right, the world's against you, everything's going wrong in my private life, I can't do anything. Just do one small thing, because that's what I did. I just did one, even when I was in my lowest ebb, and there were times where there was no money coming in. I mean, zero money coming in, and I didn't even know where my next client was coming from. And I just thought, but there's nothing else I want to do, right? That really shows you whether you want to do what you love what you do, because when you have no money coming in and you still move forward, then you just go, this is why I'm here. So, and it's also that the fear might not go away. So just do it scared, right? Just do it scared. So every time I did public speaking, I just did it scared. I mean, I was scared shitless, excuse my French. I was so scared. I trembled. I just did it scared, because I knew that the only way I could get through that was just to practice. And it's just, and I didn't believe it when people told me it was practice, but God, it's just relentless practice. So yeah, just do it scared. And then I guess, to get known for what you do is just show up consistently. You can morph and change, because when I first started, I really wanted to work with children, and cut on children really that's my absolute passion. But I just couldn't get any traction, and there was just no money in that space. So then I moved into color consulting for interiors. And then when every interior designer said, oh, we do what Karen does, I then thought, right, I'm still going to apply color psychology, but then I moved more into branding. So I was always talking about my specialty, but I was just changing the field because I had to try and work out where I could get traction. But I was still showing up consistently. And then the other thing too, I know I'm going to say a few more if I may, but have someone to cheer you on. Like, it's really, really important to have a cheerleader, so mine was Tamsin Fox Davis. She believed in me when I felt that no one was listening, and poor pity me, no one's hearing me, and no one's supporting me, and it's just me against the world. She absolutely was there, doggedly cheering me on. And then I had some friends as well, even though a lot of them didn't really understand what I was doing. God love my parents. They just went, if you're happy and you're healthy, but they really didn't get what I was doing. You know what I mean? I'm sure a lot of people tell me that their parents just going, oh, that's nice, but don't get it. So yeah, have someone who believes in you more than you believe in yourself, because that is also helpful. And then just bust through your limiting beliefs. Whenever I got to one that I doubted myself and I didn't believe in myself, I would work through that belief. And I do something that's called theta healing. I have a theta healer, and I just go to her and go, right, I've just got this stuff and I want to talk to you about it because it's just getting in my way. And it's kind of my personality of just get it out, let's deal with it, because I want to move on. Whenever you feel that something is stopping you personally, it will stop you professionally. So work through your limiting beliefs personally, and then you move up, and then your business moves up, and then you've got another set of things that worry you or beliefs, and then move up, and then this is how you move up. I didn't get here from a standing start. This was blitzing so much stuff along the way. So that is just to work on your own mindset for success. And everything I say, I still do this all the time. Like, I haven't reached any Nevada. Yeah. I still do this every day. Yeah.
It's not about the end of the journey. It's about
there is none.
There is none. No, exactly.
You just have a new set of problems, don't you? Or a new set of challenges, or it's like your business gets bigger and you go, oh, I didn't see that coming. Like, how do I deal with that? And so there's always something more coming along. Yeah.
Oh, Karen, that's absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much. I know there are a lot of people who have watched. Irene says, so glad I tuned in, needed to hear you. Tarun has made lots of comments and has obviously been listening. Tammy Banks says, thanks so much for sharing. I think this has been really inspiring and uplifting, and thank you very much. Is there anywhere, I'm going to post the link to your book so that everyone
it's a littlebookofcolor.com is the website.
Okay, so your website, and is there anything you I mean, you don't work with individuals really, do you? You know, it's sort of not I mean, you have huge corporate clients. And
I work with a lot of small brands, but look, if anybody has a question, just pop it in below, tag my name, because even if you're looking at this a month later, a year later, just tag my name in and ask me a question, because
that's brilliant.
I'm like you, Lucy, we really need to help and support. I mean, I know this is a women's group, but it's very much about supporting people, because if we can lift everybody up and then the next lot of people lift everybody up, that's what it's about. It's about support, isn't it? And about help. So
it is.
Absolutely.
That's wonderful. Well, I'll post that, and I'll post the sorry, what's the name of what's your website again?
Oh, it's called thelittlebookofcolor.com.
Yeah, okay, I'll post that too, and I'm sure you will get questions. And Karen, thank you so much for
and thank you, Lucy. You know how much I love you. So, and I think what you're doing is a great difference in the world. So thank you to you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye for now, everyone. I need to learn to say thank you to compliments. Thank you for that too, Karen. Okay. Bye for now, everyone, and have a good weekend. Bye.